Alright, hello there. I have recently joined a new Gen 8 Draft League, the PLBA, and this is my recap for my Week 1 match against the Goonside Obstagoons. I'm the coach of the Diancies. Yeah, here's my team. So first off, the opponent's team, Mega Tyranitar, Excadrill is always scary, because they pair well together. Dragapult, which I really just don't have an answer for. Rotom Heat, which kind of messes with my Celesteela, as you'll see, I have a Celesteela down here. Whimsicott, Mienshao, Quagsire, Gyarados, Sigilyph, and Magneton. And Magneton is especially annoying because, I have a Celesteela and the Magneton just kind of comes in on Celesteela and just deletes it. So I don't want that to happen. But I'm just going to kind of go through what my team is, what my plan is, and then I'll get to what the replay actually is. So first off, I have a Seismitoad with leftovers and Water Absorb, just because, that's the best kind of Seismitoad. I have Toxic just to sort of weaken down some of the opponent's mods. Knockoff for the Dragapult and just to knock off stuff in general. Stealth Rock just for extra chip, and then Scald because it's Scald. And so I'm running Max HP, Max Videf, Sassy, because, like I said before, I don't really have an answer to Dragapult, and then this is sort of the best answer to Dragapult that I can have. If I remember correctly, the calc was like Specs Draco only does like 40 to 50%, Spec Shadow Ball only does like 35%-ish, like around there, which is pretty good, from a Specs Dragapult and stuff. So, I think that's it for Zezodode. Next is my Galopany. Fake Out is great and just started getting extra chip on stuff. Drain Punch is a good fighting stab, plus I don't want to like HJK into a Protect because that would be bad. Healing Wish, just if one of my walls, guys, because all these Pokemon are meant to wall specific things, and if one of them is like really weakened and I have to deal with that, I can just Healing Wish it back up to full, and then kind of do that. And then Facade is just a good normal stab, especially because Return is gone, and if I ever get like burned by the Rotom Heat or something, or like by a Scald from Quagsire, I can just kind of Facade it and just keep firing off the same power moves. So next is my Delmize. That's sort of a Spadeffi wall, but it also has some physical defense in it. It's great against like Whimsicott and stuff. So I have Rapid Spin just to get rid of hazards because it's kind of annoying if like the Tyranitar, the Quagsire, the Excadrill, and they just start setting up Stealth Rocks on me, and then I get chipped a bit, and then Dragapult or Excadrill comes in and just starts killing my entire team. Anger Shot is really there for Whimsicott and just to make sure that there isn't like any like switch shenanigans. Knockoff is a great move because it's just kind of knockoff. It's by way to answer like Dragapult knocks off an item on Rotom, it walks off like boots and stuff, or like a choice item if it's a trick set on Rotom. Knocks off leftovers on Quagsire. Knocks off whatever the Gyarados is, whatever item it is. Like, it's just great to not have that. And then Power Up is just a grass stab for stuff like Quagsire, so, this is sort of my way to deal with Quagsire as well. That and Seismitoad, of course. So next is my Slurp Buff. After an Unburden, I do believe I outspeed everything except Scarf Dragapult and Sandrush Excadrill. And Play Rough and Drain Punch, one hit KO everything except for Quagsire if it has Unaware. If it's Water Absorb Quagsire, I also believe it gets one hit KO'd, or it's like really close to that, and so I just need like a little bit of chip on it. I also have Sticky Web because Sticky Web is also really great for stuff like my Morpeko, which I'll get into when I get to Morpeko. What else? No, I think that's basically it. I just have 4 HP and 4 in defense instead of 8 HP, so I do trigger the Citrus Berry because I am not making that mistake again. Ever. Alright, so let's get into Celesteela. This was probably the hardest Pokemon for me to EV. I ran Shed Shell. for the Magneton, like just in case, because I need Celesteela for stuff like Excadrill. It does look really good against Whimsicott. It does really good against like just stuff like that, like Mega Tyranitar. That my other ones just don't do very well against, and so I absolutely need it. Like if Seismitoad is more of a physically defensive Seismitoad, I probably wouldn't have run Shed Shell because I would be able to use Seismitoad in the case that Celesteela went away. But since Seismitoad is like fully specially defensive in my Dragapult answer, I can't do that. And so if the Magneton does come, which I am worried about, I need to be able to resolve that and not just have my answer to Excadrill die and then I lose to Excadrill. So that's why I ran Shed Shell. I run Protect and Leech Seed just because just to stall stuff out and get Leech Seed damage. It's also my way to recover stuff. So, especially because I'm not running leftovers. Heavy Slam is just the Steel Stab. It kills Whimsicott. It is pretty good against Tyranitar and stuff. It's just kind of that sort of thing. And then Earthquake is there really more just for the Magneton. And I don't really need anything else for it as well. So that's cool. Morpeko, I guess, is the last one. So this one is actually kind of fun. I remember I ran the 208 speed for something. I forgot what it was. But yeah, Life Orb. Oh yeah, I think it was Dragapult. Great, because at +1 with Aura Wheel, I would be able to outspeed a Dragapult if it wasn't scarfed. And then I'd be able to kill it with the Dark type Aura Wheel. I have Seed Bomb for Quagsire and Brick Break for Mega Tyranitar. Because they don't do 100% damage, but they do a lot. And like I said before, my plan in this match is to get chip on stuff and then win with like Slurpuff or Morpeko or whatever happens to be the best way to win. Protect is always good because it allows me to switch between normal and hangry mode on my Morpeko, so I can sort of just change the type of Aura Wheel. And then I have Seed Bomb and Recruit the Quasar. The only problem is that this thing, all of its moves are resisted by Whimsicott. But so if I just need to like make sure that Whimsicott is dead before Morpeko, I can start Morpekoing. Or that Whimsicott is like heavily weakened so that I can like Aura Wheel it and then SB it with the Aura Wheel and start Aura Wheeling. It also gets outsped by Scarf Dragapult at +1 at Aura Wheel and Sandrush Excadrill. Like Slurpuff, but I don't think there's anything else, and if it gets to like multiple Aura Wheels, then there's nothing that can outspeed it, and I just sort of run the opponent over with that. So I think that's my team. The stuff I'm worried about most is like the Rotom Heat, because it's just super annoying. The Quagsire, because it just kind of stopped. It stops Slurpuff in its tracks, and it really messes me up, like with like Mega Lopunny and stuff. The Gyarados is also something to worry about because it could just run like a Dragon Dance, Bounce, or Crunch, Power Up and Waterfall, and then kind of runs me over. The Magneton is bad for Celesteela. If I remember correctly, I forgot to mention this, but I think they had like Golisopod or something. They might have traded it though. And that's also kind of worrying. But other than that, I'm not really worried about much except Dragapult, because Dragapult is something that I can't really deal with that much. So let's get to the replay. Okay. So my opponent brought Seismitoad. Oh no, I brought Seismitoad. Excadrill, Golisopod, Rotom Heat, Dragapult, Whimsicott, and Mega Tyranitar. So basically all the stuff I was worried about. And super annoying. And so my thought process when leading is, like, I can just fake out anything with Mega Lopunny and not really worry about it. So like, because it has Scrappy, like Dragapult is good, and Dragapult doesn't really want to take it. Although Dragapult would probably be the worst lead for me to lead Mega Lopunny against, because it outspeeds Mega Lopunny, and then I'm just forced into a defensive position where I have to go side of the toe, and then they can go and mess me up with Whimsicott and stuff. So that's why I just lead off Mega Lopunny, because like anything else I don't really care about except maybe Golisopod. But like I have a way to get around Golisopod pretty freely, and that is Celesteela, of course. So that's good. Let me just click the play button. So they lead off with Mega Tyranitar, which is probably the best lead possible. So I just decided I want to Mega Evolve here and get my Fake Out up. And they reveal Protect, probably for a high Jump Kick. Like they think I'd just like Jump Kick first turn and then bam, take 50% damage. But that does not happen. And yeah, so here I make kind of a bad play and don't really read the Golisopod in. It reveals itself to be a Rocky Helmet. But yeah, so if I remember correctly, a Facade doesn't go, so I do have to go into Celesteela. And it sets up the spikes. So that's kind of bad for me, but it's not too bad. I can always just rapid spin it later. But I basically just get to Leech Seed for free here, because like Whimsicott isn't coming in on this, it's the road to me. And so I can just start like getting damage on this. So here I Protect, although I probably should have just gone into Seismitoad, because like if it got some nasty plot up and stuff, it was kind of worrying, although it still be able to hit Seismitoad. So T-Tar gets rocks up, and I just decided to heavy slam it for damage. Does a lot of damage, pretty cool. If I remember correctly, I just Leech Seed here. Yeah, I just Leech Seed here, because like, it's just more damage really. Here I Leech Seed again because like there's literally no reason for the Tyranitar to stay in. And so I just get extra damage and extra recovery from the Rotom Heat. So here I basically have to go into Seismitoad, which is super annoying as I just get Will-O-Wisp, which is kind of bad for me, but not like incredibly bad for me, because I'm not running like a physical set. Like yes, I'm running knockoff, but that's like it's okay. So here I just get my own rocks up, because it's good damage on like the Golisopod, and it's good damage on the Rotom Heat if it's not Boots, and as is revealed here, it is indeed Boots. So I am AV, and I do live in Overheat, so I figured that now is the best time to rapid spin. And like I said before, I can always Healing Wish it later if I have to. Yeah, so I just go into Morpeko here, so I can just start overwheeling. It is also at this moment that I forget Whimsicott exists, so yeah. But I mean, that Aura Wheel did like way too much, though, is the thing. But yeah, I have to leave, which is fun. Yeah. So I just get Moonblasted, and that's okay. I forget what I do here. I think I just Leech Seed. But yeah. So this is actually really great though, because the Rotom is just great not being around, because that means that Dhelmise does a lot more if it is Healing Wished up. Celesteela, I got Story a lot less, and stuff. And so on the Rotom Heat, I do go into Seismitoad, and they dull into Dragapult. So like, yay, this is great for me, because Seismitoad is my Dragapult answer, and like as you can see here, it's Specs. And now that Specs is gone, so it can't really hit me too hard anymore, and that's always really great. So here it just U-turns, and like this is okay, but it's just not like really good damage for Seismitoad to be taking, because Seismitoad still has to wall that Dragapult. So that might force me to Healing Wish up the Seismitoad if need be. But yeah, I get a Toxic on the Whimsicott, which is pretty good. And so I can basically just like fake out something else. This time being the Golisopod. And since I'm very worried about like Aqua Jet and stuff, I decided to go back into Seismitoad, or like just in case Facade got a low roll. I went there for like the liquidation stuff. So here Seismitoad goes down, and my answers to Dragapult are more limited, but they do still exist, especially since the Specs is gone. Celesteela has a bit of a better job handling it. But yeah, so here I Leech Seed. As I go into Whimsicott, smart play. But ultimately fine for me, because I believe I can just Heavy Slam here, and I get fully paralyzed. So yeah, here I did Heavy Slam, and that was a huge deal, because if that had killed like I could have got into more Pico and then started more Picoing. But yeah. So here I basically just click Leech Seed over and over again as the Whimsicott gets more and more weakened until it dies. But yeah, that full paralyze actually really sucked for me. So here I sack Delmize just to get in something. And in hindsight, I should have gone into more Pico, but I didn't. I went into Slurpuff, and so I just kind of started belly drumming. Basically, just forcing the Excadrill in, because my Celesteela is still going to deal with it, and now that Rotom Heat's gone, especially like it's like the thing is like if I get Celesteela back up, or if it's just able to Leech Seed itself back up, there really isn't a good answer to that Celesteela. Right now. So yeah. So that's an Iron Head. It reveals itself. Life Orb Sand Rush. Yeah. Everyone saw that coming. Yeah, so I Leech Seed here. And if I remember correctly, I sack Slurpuff. No, I just get paralyzed. As it U-turns. Directly back into Golisopod, which is cool and all. But yeah. So I get paralyzed again as it goes for close combat, which is an interesting choice, and I have absolutely no idea why the Golisopod ran close combat when Leech Life, like in Liquidation, had basically the same coverage, but that's what they chose to do, and I'm not complaining. But yeah, so here I just decided to see what this Dragapult's gonna do and click Protect. And yeah, I don't really have a good switch in, so Slurpuff has to go. Yeah, so Lopunny comes in. It basically just gets a fake out. But I decided instead to Healing Wish. Because I mean, this Dragapult is gonna switch out. Is not gonna want to take fake out damage. So yeah, Celesteela is back up to full now, and I think I win now. Because like I had said before, really nothing can deal with it. The reason I went for the double protect is because Golisopod was gonna die this turn anyway. And I just figured, like, why not prevent the damage? It didn't really end up mattering. So here I missed a Fire Blast. Probably ended up mattering. I don't know, I'll probably calc it after the fact. But either way, Celesteela just kind of walls the rest of the team, and that's basically the end unless this Tyranitar decides to crit me to death. Which, is a thing that could happen. I don't know. I should have Heavy Slammed here, but I clicked Leech Seed, but it still doesn't really matter because Excadrill doesn't care. I mean, I don't care about Excadrill. And so basically the only way that they can win is to flinch me out with Iron Head, which is incredibly unlikely. And if it does happen, I would have been very mad. But right here, I Earthquake, and the Excadrill goes down in one shot. And that is my week 1 game. So that's a cool 2-0 victory. If I remember correctly, there's only one other guy in my division that has a 2-0 victory, and I'm going to be playing them next week, so I guess kind of look forward to that. But I think I'm done for now. I have a nickname theme for my team, and if you can figure out what it is, then good for you. If you can't, then that's okay. But yeah, that I'm just gonna say bye and see you next time. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you enjoyed.